What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with a match preview of a huge game this weekend between two absolutely dusted clubs, but it's all important, all the same. Someone's got to get a point from somewhere. Either it's going to be a point or 3 points for one club, and we're going to get into it. Who's going to get that? I don't know. Returning to the channel, he thought he hadn't been on 3 times, but this is actually it's actually his 5th time, I think, now.
Yeah, I mentioned, I remembered that. I thought it was 4, but yeah, it's 4 times I've been on. Obviously, it's my 5th time now.
Yeah, so, man, 5th appearance for ex-Leeds midfielder and Norwich midfielder, Bradley Johnson. So yeah, Bradley, man, how's it going, man?
Yeah, it's all right. I'm still plugging away at my old age now. Still ticking away, but no, yeah, I'm good. I can't complain. You know, I'm injury free at the moment, and you know, as you just said there, we're doing well in the league, and you know, all to play for with the last 10 games.
Yeah, I mean, just before we get on to Leeds, Norwich, I just want to talk about Blackburn just briefly because, I mean, yeah, it's gone a little rocky lately. It happens in the Championship, doesn't it? Though,
yeah,
I mean, I think it's like 1 goal in 8 games. When is Mr. Diaz going to get back from the commercials and come back playing?
I know we need to get him off all these commercials. He's just done I think it was a Chilean bank one he done the other day. But he's I think he's probably after the international break. I think he's back. There are rumours that he's going to get called up for Chile, but we don't know what's happening. But no, he's aiming to be back after the international break. You know, as you just said, there he's a big miss for us, and the sooner he's back, the better for us.
Yeah, because it's different when you've got key players like that out of the team. It makes such a difference in the champ, especially, you know. And you see Sheffield United, they've flown up the league as well. They're all of a sudden in that top 6 mix, which isn't good news for anyone.
Yeah.
But West Brom, I mean, I don't know if you've been keeping an eye. I can't believe they're in mid-table. Like, they have just slid down the league.
Yeah, and you know what it's like in this league. You know, if you go on a bad run and at maybe the wrong time they've gone on a bad run, you can find yourself, as you said, from being in the mix throughout the whole season to, like you say, mid-table. And, you know, West Brom have done that. You know, they got rid of their manager, Steve Bruce come in, and they thought it was all going to change. But this league is unforgiving, man. When you're on a bad run, you are on a bad run in this league. And, you know, they're on a bad run and they find themselves, as you said, mid-table. But we all go through and we've been on a bad run recently. But we've picked up now a little bit. I know we ain't scored from open play in a few games, but we've been playing well and been picking up results.
Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, we're in kind of similar situations in terms of a bad run, but obviously ours is just, it's on a different level of muddiness. So, but I mean, with yourselves, I need Blackburn to come up, man, just for some real Premier League heritage. You know, all that old title winning team, Mort Gams Pennison later on. You know, Guy. I mean, Blackburn have got Premier League heritage, so they need to come up and replace one of the other teams. Hopefully not us, though. But I don't know. Because, I mean, and shout out to everyone as well for last night that was on the watch along with me. I wish I didn't do the watch along. I really do. But it was good that everyone was suffering with me. It was good and therapeutic for all of us to go through that together. So, I mean, listen, I mean, Lewis here says it. The team with Bradley Johnson is better than our current team. I can absolutely say that is true. From ability-wise, it's absolutely true. Like, there is no shade on that. It was just better set up. But it's interesting, Bradley, just moving on to Leeds. We're kind of in a similar situation where you were before you left, in that we needed some help in January and we didn't get any. Instead of getting January help in January for promotion at that time for you, we needed some help to stave off relegation and we didn't get any. So whether that, and there's all kinds of theories. I mean, the fan base is as fractured as it's been since Bielsa was appointed.
Yeah.
Whether whose door you want to blame it on, but ultimately the board should have overridden anything about Bielsa wanting a small squad and saying, listen, we need to get players in, because ultimately they sacked him then, you know, 20 plus days after the window closes, leaving the manager with this crop of players to work with. I mean, what's your view on it from the outside, Brad?
Yeah, no, from the outside looking in, obviously you touch on about strengthening in January, and I think that is key. No matter where you are in the league, I think I can only talk of my experience being at Leeds. We needed recruitment in January to help us push for promotion. We didn't get that, and now Leeds find themselves at the bottom, struggling a little bit, and they needed some bodies in to help. Just as you get bodies in, you didn't need to sign any big marquee signings, but you look at how thin the squad was with injuries that you had. Just getting bodies in, and as I said, no marquee signing, just people who can come in and do a job, get you as far as they can, and then you wait for your injuries to come back. But not signing anyone in the January window, I think it was a silly move. And then, as you said there, to sack Bielsa 20 days later it's not good. And with him, Bielsa, I take my hat off to him because everything that Leeds went through, the injuries, the COVID, everything, he did not complain once.
Yeah,
you see him trying to call off games where bigger teams had maybe 4 or 5 COVID cases and they were trying to get games called off. I remember, was it West Ham you went to, and there was kids on the bench, and he used what he had, and and sometimes you need help from, as you said, the board, and maybe if they sign maybe 3 or 4, as I said, they're not marquee signings, just players who maybe have been there before and done it, just who know what this league's about and just can help the squad, not players who, as you said, are going to come in for big money signing, marquee signing, just players who are going to come in and help the squad at that moment in time. And it was harsh, him not getting them signings in. And then touch on him about the class he had, that he never complained. He never tried to get a game off. The injuries that you had, I don't think would have done. Calvin, Patrick. He had so many injuries, and he never complained once. He got on with it. He put out a team he thought could win the game, and I think West Ham was the game you won as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, we won that one. Yeah, but there was another club. There was a club in North London that had a game called off and then loan players out the next day. Man, it's kind of mad. Isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Touch on there. You saw it in not just in the Premier League, in the Championship, where managers were trying to get games called off because they never had their strongest team. But that's what the league's for, a squad. That's what you need to have squad players for, to, as you said, if you get injuries. But I think COVID was used to, I think it was rinsed towards the end.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Trying to rinse it. And as I said there, Bielsa didn't complain once about it. He just got on and done his business. But, it's hard when you've got so many injuries. And maybe he had COVID cases as well, and he never come out and said it. But, the squad that he had there was really thin, and he didn't get the backing in January.
Well, Tom brings up a point here. What would be good to know is who had the final say, Bielsa or the board. And that's something that I think everyone needs to know, because we've always been told that Bielsa wants a small squad. That has always been the rhetoric the whole time he's been here. And now he's been sacked. It's almost like people are trying to say, well, he didn't get no signings. But if we was always told to trust that Bielsa wants small squads, to stick with it. But I just feel like there's just been some revisionist history now with him being sacked and saying, well, he didn't get any signings. But who is that on? Is that on him rejecting all the suggestions? Or is it the suggestions weren't good enough? We won't know until probably the end of the season, I think. We won't know, maybe later. But there's also talk about Raphinha here, Brad. And just from a current, a footballer's point of view, I've made the case for Raphinha because he hasn't been good over the past maybe month. But I do believe it's because we didn't get any help in January. I feel like the club needed to match his ambition and let him play with players that can be on his wavelength. And I think that carrying the team on his back is only as glamorous so many times than when, with all due respect, playing with some of the players he's currently playing with. Because again, we talk about your Diaz being called up. Raphinha's been called up for the Brazil squad again, and he's playing with Neymar. He's playing with Anthony. He's playing with actual talented players there, and then he's coming back, and he's come back after the window's closed, and literally no one's come back. Do you think that ever has a bearing on a player?
I think it does. Yeah, them sort of players like Raphinha, when things are going well and he's playing well, the team are playing well, it's no problem. But then it comes to a time where, as you said there, we everyone goes through bad patches, and that that can become demanding on players, especially with him as well. You know, he is an unbelievable player. There's no doubt in that.
Yeah.
But there has to be some sort of team around to help him, and it can't just be him all the time. And you know, when things are going bad, maybe you're not winning or you're not scoring goals. Everyone looks, oh, Raphinha, he didn't play well today. But you know, it's not about him. It's about the whole team. And yeah, maybe that did have a bit of a bearing on him. You know, because when things are going well, you want to play the next game. You want to play every week, and he was doing that. You know, when you're flying high, you want to play. But then when you have a few bad games, and then because you are the star man, everyone looks at you thinking, why you're not turning up? But it's a team game, and it's down to the other players to turn up as well. And I think, you know, not saying the players didn't turn up, but the injuries didn't help, and as you said, all the absentees didn't help because you know, when Leeds United have got a fully fit team, they are easily a Premier League team. But you know, when you lose big players like you have done, it is hard for one of them big players to carry the whole baton on their back themselves. And you know, I felt that maybe the travelling in the international, playing for the international teams, going away, travelling, it does take a bearing on you, all that travelling, and you know, going away to Brazil, travelling around the world, and then coming back, and then getting back into the Premier League, where, as you said, it's unforgiving, it's non-stop. It maybe found it hard and maybe needed a break, but in the Premier League you can't have a break, and that's why I go back to always, it's about the team, and the team need to help everyone get through that.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild for me to see the fans just talk about Raphinha in the way that they are lately, because he's, without his goals and assists so far, we would be rock bottom of the league. It's as simple as that as well. But like you say, when you're the star player, everyone always looks to you. But there's a lot of players here that are getting away with murder. Like their performances have been rotten, but because they aren't as good, not really much is expected of them. So they're just getting away with it. But Raphinha, he can't get away with it now. Everything's being read about him. His body language. Did he smile at somebody today? No. So he must be in a bad mood. It's crazy sometimes for me, the way that star players get dug out, but yet people will be happy with an average player playing just because they will run about a bit. That's just not football for me. But listen, we all love football differently. So I mean, when we talk about Norwich, and I look at Norwich's team. Actually, just before I go on to Norwich, this is from LUFC data. Leeds last 6 matches, people: 1-0, draw nil, last 6, joint most, scored 2 goals, conceded 21. I mean, there's not much you can do with that. There is not much you can do with that at all. And I look at Norwich, and I always say on this channel, Brad, if you're in the Premier League and you're at home to teams against Burnley, Norwich, and teams like that, and you don't think you can win, then you may as well not even be here. I'm actually at the point now where I don't know if we can beat Norwich City on Sunday. And I look at Norwich's setup, Brad. Kabak, Aaron's, Brandon Williams, who will give 100%. Brandon Williams is all action. And then you look at Timu Puki, who's obviously going to be a threat. Sargent, who's picking up form. And it's like, well, I mean, how do you see between the two? How do you see this one going?
Yeah, I've obviously I've looked before coming on here. I looked at the previous games, and as you said, I knew all them stats before you read them off, and it don't look good for both teams, really. You know, they're both through bad patches. I would say bad patches because the Premier League it's a hard league, but you know, going through bad patches at the moment, and I don't think Norwich have won away from home since the beginning of January. I think, you know, apart from obviously yesterday the home result for Leeds. I think they when was their last home win? Was it? What was their last home win for Leeds?
Who's last? Our one.
Yeah.
It will be Burnley. You see, the wins are so few and far between. You remember, it's Burnley near the beginning of January.
Yeah. So if you're going off form, you know, both teams will be going into the game, and you know, again, I don't think anyone will be overconfident thinking, "Oh, we're going to win this," even though you know Leeds being at home, they should be the favourites to win. But you know, going off past games and stuff, and again, I always touch on the Premier League. It is unforgiving league where when I was in the Premier League, I always said to you, I cut it into two leagues. You get the top 10, and then the teams below that. if you want to stay in the Premier League, you've got to beat the teams and in and around you. And Leeds, yeah, they should be confident at home, but again, who just said that, Tom Bennett, the first goal is so important in not just in the Premier League but in any football. And not confident, don't know who's going to score the goals. It's going to be a hard one. And then again for Norwich, going away from home, they ain't got that much pressure, if that makes sense. The pressure's on Leeds. The pressure's on Leeds to win tomorrow. They lost their last home game, and the pressure.
And Brad, just on that as well, touch on it because you've played, and you know what it's like when you play at Elland Road and the pressure's on, and if the first goal goes against us, you know what the crowd can be like. So I mean, just touch on that for the people that are listening.
Yeah, no, it is. When for me it's different because I was never in the Premier League for Leeds, but we was in the Championship, we was in League One, and in the Championship. At home, everyone expects you to win. So there are going to be games when you ain't, and it is hard when you go down a goal. I think it just depends on the performance really of the team. If the crowd can see that you're working hard and you're unlucky, and they can see that you're trying, I think they'll still get behind you. But it's that I've been there. In the playoff game, I can only go back when we went 2-1 up. I could feel it, like the atmosphere changed, and it does affect the players. It affected the players that night for sure. And I've been there where I've been in games where we're expected to win and we don't, and it can get on lads. It can, as you said, dent their confidence. And you look at the Leeds team now. Are they confident enough to?
No.
If they go one goal down, is there anyone in the team who's going to get around the lads and say, right, listen, buck your ideas up and we've got to go again? Looking from the outside in, they are low on confidence. And the first goal is key because Norwich will be thinking that as well. Norwich will be going there thinking, if we get the first goal and we can turn the fans on them, then we're in the ascendancy. So it is key, whoever gets the first goal, and keeping the fans on side. I think my history with Leeds fans like yourself, all you want is people work hard for the shirt. And I know things ain't looking good at the moment, but that's all you ask for is lads to go out there and give their all. And sometimes you're not going to win, sometimes you are. But I think the worst thing for Leeds is that if they go a goal down, then heads drop. And once their heads drop and the fans turn, then it's hard coming back because the away team will get a confidence from that because they can feel the atmosphere change, and then they'll just get more confidence from that.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Wilson says here, no fight in these players or quality, and that's the problem, Brad. Because unlike your crop where you had Gradle, Beckford, yourself, Howson, actual quality on the ball. It doesn't matter what league it's in. You guys could do something with the ball. I always knew. I'm going to say I because a lot of people have been slow to catch up. I always knew once the pressing went with a lot of these players, when the energy left, we were going to be left very short with this crop of players. That's why I knew we had to get something done last summer and in January just to freshen this squad up. And what we're seeing right now is a team that haven't got as much energy, and they definitely don't have the quality on the ball. So when we go 1-0 down now, unlike last season, when it was great, basketball, kind of football, there's no confidence. I think even the fans are starting to lose confidence once we go 1 down. That are we even going to get back in the game?
Yeah.
That is where we are right now. I mean, we can't hide from the fact that we've played 28 games and won 5 of them. I mean, that ratio is shocking. And that's where I look at it from a Norwich point of view, because yes, we're both teams that have got 5 L's lately. I mean, it tells you in the form table we've actually got 6. You just think that everyone knows what the Leeds crowd's like. Everyone knows the pressure that's on these players to keep Leeds in the Prem.
Yeah,
you're right. I think Norwich come into this game with a lot less pressure on their hands. And Norwich, with all due respect, are expected to go down and then probably try and come back up again. Leeds, if we go down, Brad, we ain't coming back up straight away. It's not happening. And you just look at other things as well, Brad, like Calvin Phillips. Yes, he's been out, but we always thought he might sign a new contract here. There's no contract, and there's a reason for that. His stock is way too high. He's an England regular. Why would you sign a new contract here at this moment in time? There's just so many things going on here. It just doesn't. it's just a bad feeling around the place. And then when you couple that with Bielsa being sacked and people's attachment to him, it's just a very divisive place again.
If I'll be honest with you, I was surprised when he got sacked, because I know football is, how can I say this? It's football. It forgets easily nowadays. Like, it forgets what you've done in the past. But
it does.
And people love the club. They never forget. So as you said there, Bielsa will always be thought about by the Leeds fans. He'll be a legend there for forever. Yeah. But football, as you say, like the people upstairs, they just want the results here and there. And as you said there, it was harsh on him getting sacked, because I felt, as we just touched on there, he didn't get the backing in January. He didn't get the maybe. But then again, it's a question of, did he want to sign players? As you said there, we will never know. But I think I didn't see it coming that he was going to get the sack. I thought that if he stayed there to the end of the season, it was a 50-50. Maybe he might get him out of it. Maybe he wouldn't. But then again, it was harsh. I didn't see it coming.
There's something had to change though, Brad, and I said it after the Spurs game. There was a week in between that game and the Leicester one, and I just felt something was coming. I thought something's going to happen here, because we were just consistently leaking goal after goal. And it's like, you're asking, and I said it on this channel many times, and I think people picked up on it, but he's an old man, isn't he? And how can you ask an old man to adapt his methods at his stage when he's done it for 20, 30 years? It's like unrealistic. So something had to change, and he wasn't willing to lose the man marking system, which it was killing us.
Yeah, it was. I think with that, even when, I go back to the Championship season when I was at Derby and we played Leeds, we'd always say, if you get to 60, 65 minutes with Leeds at 0-0, you've always got a chance, because no team can keep up the press that they were doing in that league. But then to go to the Premier League and do it again against world-class players, it's impossible. And sometimes you do have to change. And I don't know if, as you said there, like Bielsa wouldn't change. He might be a bit stubborn in his ways and stuff like that. But I think in this day and age in football, you have to be able to adapt to, as you said, you can't go away to Man City and full court press them, because they've got world-class players who will just beat the press and then punish you. And I think that's what was happening. It tells by the results, the 6-0 and the higher results that the goals you've conceded. Whereas at the beginning, maybe in the first year in the Premier League, teams didn't expect it, so they never really knew. But you've been in the Premier League now for 2 years, and teams cotton on to how you play, and managers can suss it out. And I think that's happened this season, where teams probably thinking, if we beat their press or last to like 60, we've got a chance, because no one can keep up that press for that long. And maybe it was Bielsa being stubborn, and I think you do have to adapt in this day and age in football.
And I've said it as well before, Brad, that he could have kept his system. He could have kept the way he played, but he just needed to upgrade the squad. He needed to get better quality players to do what he's asking, because it's like when you're asking Calvin Phillips, the man mark Bruno Fernandes, well, you've got confidence that Calvin Phillips will do it, because he's Calvin Phillips. He's an established international player. But if you're asking, with all due respect, Adam Forshaw or Luke Ayling to do it, it's not going to work out very well, and we've seen the results of that. So if he had just, loyalty was another thing with him as well. He was loyal to a core of those players that got him up. And it was just a bad mix in the end. It's unfortunate, because I did want him to last until the summer. Oh, he's gone. Blackburn Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. He's here. Yeah, I did want Bielsa to last until the summer. I really did, because I was ready for a change in manager. I was, but I wanted him to last till the summer and just go out on his terms, kind of thing. But we are where we are. But listen,
how's it been with the new manager? Obviously, I saw the Leicester game. I saw there was he was unlucky at Leicester. But can you hear me?
Yeah.
How's everyone taken to the new manager? Because I don't know much about him. So,
well, listen, I mean, it's hard to pin a lot of these faults on Jesse Marsch after 2 games. I mean, we've conceded 64 goals, and he's been a part of just 4 of them. I say just. The amount of goals we concede is ridiculous, but he's still playing What's baffling me with him is I know the squad is small, but he's still doing things like playing Dan James up front, which I
Yeah,
thought we were going to get rid of once Bielsa had gone. That's still happening. Stuart Dallas is still being played right back, and he's come out today and said because of Firpo's injury that Dallas is going to move to left back yet again. So we're still doing the square pegs round hole thing, but he's
yeah,
got to set up a different way now. It's not man marking; it's more attacking. It's more pressing in twos and threes.
yeah,
But it's just that the attacker's just gone. There's no
yeah,
attacking now. Like the shots yesterday on the watch long, I don't even remember if we had a shot. Honestly, I don't remember. But we're now missing that part. We're missing a striker. Bamford's getting back into contention. Don't know if he's going to start.
yeah,
There's only so much that he could have done with this team in
yeah,
this squad. Honestly, that you're trying to work miracles with this team right now, and I think even he's now seeing the big job that he's got on his hands here. I
yeah,
don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be here past the summer if we go down. But we just need to get a point from somewhere. That's all I'm asking, a point, because what you mentioned earlier about performances and working hard, I mean, that's all good. But for me, I would take a bad performance right now and sneak a 1-0 win all day long.
yeah,
Yeah, someone said, yeah, Gelhart had one shot. Yeah, it was about 50 yards out. Yeah, it was. It's actually insane. Just before we
yeah,
go on to score predictions and wrap this up, some people were asking me yesterday about what I would do with Raphinha, and I did think about it. But this is the team I would do, and yeah, I have square pegs and round holes because there's not enough players to juggle them around. Okay, so I'd have Melier in goal, Ayling, Llorente, Charlie Creswell at centre back, Pascal Struijk at left back. Robin Koch in defensive midfield. It's not perfect, but it gives us a bit of protection. Dallas and Bate in the midfield for a bit of energy and Bate with his passing ability. And then up front, the front three, I would have Dan James, Patrick Bamford, and I would stick with Raphinha, people. And
yeah,
here's why. And I understand the argument for Somerville, but I just think that in a game like this, if you want that moment of quality, I think Raphinha will give it you. And if it's not working, then by all means take him off for Somerville or Jack Harrison. I just think that we
mm.
need a bit something different in there, but Raphinha will always be that X factor. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts on that is, Brad.
No, I
Do
think
you,
you
do you stick with Raphinha, Brad, or do you take him out in a game like this?
I think you stick with him. You just touched on it there. You know, these games when both teams are low on confidence, one team's looking for both teams uh, wary, and maybe Norwich might come there and play for a draw. You need that player in there who's going to make one bit of magic, and
Yeah,
he's definitely the only player in that team who can do that. That's all it takes. In a 90-minute game, it takes 1 second of brilliance and Raphinha, and that could be the turning point. He could do that. He could do that in the first minute. He could do it in the 87th minute, and then you get the win. Everyone's confidence goes up, and that could springboard your season. And I'd keep him in there just for that reason. And as you said there, if it ain't working, you can take him off, but you can't drop. I don't think with if you were playing a Man City at home or a Man United or something like that, or a Liverpool, then maybe take him out to give him a rest, but when you need to win a game, and you need the players who can create that one bit of brilliance within a second of a game.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, expecting Gore here saying Bradley come back to Leeds. Listen, I would take Bradley to come back to Leeds just to teach some of these midfielders how to shoot a ball.
Oh, hey, though, let's not talk about my shooting. Remember last time?
Yeah, but Brad, at least you hit the ball with some conviction, man.
I'll come back. I don't think I'll get in their team now, but nah, Leeds will always be in my heart, man. Great club,
Yeah,
great
man.
times.
Oh man. Well, listen, people, get your score predictions in the chat right now. If you're watching the replay of the video, put your score predictions in the comments. Bradley, I'm going to ask you for a score prediction for this game. If you just go with your heart.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my heart. And I'm not just saying it because I'm on here. I do believe Leeds will get a win. Going off of form, I think the lads are gonna know, and the fans want a reaction from your loss last night. And I think two teams who ain't in great form. Both teams need a win, and I'll go. It's going to be a tight game. I think both teams will score, and I will go 2-1 Leeds. Oh, Tom, yeah, 2-1 Leeds.
Yeah, there's a lot of 2-1s, 2-0 from Mark Jones here. That's a clean sheet, Mark. You're asking for a clean sheet. Jamie, imagine if it was 0-0 after all of that.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine that. That result would do nobody any good, a draw. Absolutely no one. But Jack Wilson thinking Norwich will come and win. And I've got to be honest, Brad, I've seen a few predictions like that. And I never thought I'd see the day. And if I ever saw that before, I'd have said, wow, what are these guys talking about? But I actually understand where they're coming from. I understand it. I do understand where they're coming from. I mean, I predicted 2-0 earlier this week. I don't know why. But I just don't know who's going to score the goal. So you know what? I'm going to go. Oh man, I'm going to go. I'm gonna go 2-1 Leeds as well. I just don't know where they go. We might have to hope that our old friend own goal can come back, because own goal was our third high score in the championship, so we need him back. Come back for a game. Own goal.
Who? Own goal.
Own goal, man.
Oh, you need an own goal. I thought you were talking about a player.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
own goal was setting us up, man. We used to get teams just twisted up, and then the ball would just go in off one of their defenders, man. I'll take it.
Yeah, no, but I do think, well, we're hoping sitting here now, come on, 5:30 that you do get the result. It's a big game, massive game.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Yeah, and that's all. I mean, that's all I can say on that one. I'll be lying if I said I'm looking forward to the game. I'm going to be nervous. So God knows what those players are going to be like, and the crowd inside of Elland Road can only imagine what that atmosphere is going to be like then. But they just have to make sure that they start well, get in front, because if Norwich do go 1-0 ahead, I do fear for the players. I think it will get pretty ugly, because they don't even have that Bielsa shield now to hide behind, because no one's got an attachment to Jesse Marsch. So it's going to be that good old Leeds atmosphere that everyone knows and loves when we go 1-0 down at Elland Road. But yeah, listen, I wanted to thank Brad for coming on. Brad, have you got anything to plug?
No, nothing, man. I'm all good. I'm just getting on with trying to play as many games as I can and see how long I can last playing football. But no, it's
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but Blackburn on a promotion push. I do hope that they get it. I honestly do. So yeah, man, you need to get winning Bristol City tomorrow. I've got you down for a clean sheet, so don't let me down.
Need to score.
No problem. And people, like I say, like the stream before you go, like the video if you're watching the replay, and I will see you all after the game, come rain or shine, after the game against Norwich City. Peace out, people.